Good afternoon, Pankhurst, and welcome to your third wider curriculum lesson this week. So before I get into our lesson today, I just want to have a quick discussion about our live session this morning. So this morning we have spoken about our wider curriculum lessons 1 and 2. And some of you had said that our lessons were a bit long, too much information to take in. And so I tried to explain what those lessons meant a bit further in our live. So lesson 1 was basically showing you 4 different ways you can find historical information. Okay, and we were trying to find historical information about the Great Exhibition during the Victorian times. And then the 4 sources, which means the 4 ways you can find information for the Great Exhibition, is by looking at pictures, by looking at objects, by looking at some pieces of writing, and also by looking at numbers. Okay, and then we also discussed how these 4 sources, so these 4 ways, also have problems. Okay, then your lesson number 2 was basically about communicating. So the idea behind our lesson 2 was for you to be able to communicate your opinion. So for you to communicate what you think and why you think that way. And we discussed it's important for you to basically give evidence for what you think. Okay, it's very important. So what we wanted to communicate about was whether the Great Exhibition was a true representation of Britain. Okay, most of you said that you believe it is not, and that is because there weren't only British inventors and inventions at the Great Exhibition, there were inventors and inventions worldwide. And you also should have watched 4 videos from our history experts about 4 different objects. One of the objects was the Kohinoor diamond, which came from India. So that wasn't a British invention or a British, person showing their object at the Great Exhibition. And also the elephant, which came from Africa. So today, our learning objective is, can I distinguish between Victorian facts and opinions? So today we are going to be learning about what facts and opinions are, okay? And our facts and opinions are going to be about the Victorians. So today we are going to be looking at what makes a fact and what makes an opinion an opinion. Okay, so what makes a fact and an opinion an opinion? Using this knowledge, we will then sort statements into facts and opinions. So what is a fact? Can you put your thinking cap on and have a good think about what you think a fact might be? Okay, fantastic. So a fact is something that is true and can be proven. It can be checked and backed up with evidence. We know if something is a fact because it usually includes statistics, so that means numbers. So facts usually include statistics. They can be checked by other sources. So if you have a fact, you can check the same fact in other sources and it will say the same thing, and it doesn't use emotive language. Okay. It doesn't. And it is written in formal language. Okay, so that is how you can tell what a fact is. So the way to tell if something is a fact is by looking at the statistics, other sources, no emotive language, and it is formal language. Okay. So now that we know what a fact is, can you have a good think about what an opinion might be? Put your thinking caps on and think. Okay, so an opinion is something that someone thinks or feels. Okay, So it's important for you to understand that it's what someone thinks and feels. Okay, it cannot be proven. Other people may have a different opinion, okay, to you, but about the same topic. We know if something is an opinion because it has a lot of emotive language. So in an opinion, it's you have emotional language because people give an opinion based on what they're feeling. Okay, it can sometimes use informal language. Somebody else could feel differently. Okay, it cannot be checked, so there's no evidence. So no evidence cannot be checked to see if it's true or not, so no evidence. It is based on what somebody thinks or feels. It may use words as arguably or it seems. Okay, so I have got the features of facts and the features of opinions here. Okay, so if we look at this again, it says a fact is a fact usually includes statistics, so it actually has numbers and dates and prices. Yeah, a fact can also be checked in other sources, so that means other sources will have this exact same information. It doesn't use emotive language, and it is written in formal language. Okay, whereas an opinion is the following. So an opinion, you have emotive language, so you use it. It can sometimes be informal. Someone can feel differently about it. It can't be checked. It is based on how someone thinks or feels, and you use the words arguably and it seems. And those words basically give an opposing opinion, okay? Or, arguably basically means an opinion that you have. So you're trying to make someone feel your opinion. Now, let's look at this statement together. So we all know a statement is just a sentence, okay? And what we are going to do is I want you to think about whether this statement is a fact or an opinion, and how do you know? So it says here, the average daily attendance was 42,831 people, with the highest daily total recorded on the 7th of October when 109,915 people visited. What do you think it is? Is it a fact or is it an opinion? Fantastic, it's a fact. And the reason it is a fact is because it has numbers, it has statistics and exact dates. Okay, fantastic. Now, next one. Let's look at this and I want you to think about whether it is a fact or whether it is a fact or an opinion. Okay, and how do you know? In short, the exhibition has been translated from a great thought into a great deed. The greatest trophy ever erected of human progress, industry, and skill. So, what do you think it is? Do you think it's a fact or an opinion? And why? It is an opinion. And the reason it is an opinion is because it has feelings. So, someone thinks it was the greatest and great thing ever that had happened. Okay? So now that's an opinion because that is how someone feels about it. Okay. Next, let's look at this sentence and decide whether it is a fact or an opinion. And how do you know? Over 6 million people visited the Great Exhibition between May and October 1851. What do you think it is? Fantastic, it's a fact. And the reason it is a fact is because you've got numbers. 6 million people, May and a date, May and October 1851. Now, let's look at this and decide what it is. It's a piece of writing from Charlotte Bronte, and we looked at her piece of writing on, I think it was wider curriculum lesson 1. It is a wonderful place, vast, strange, new, and impossible to describe. Its grandeur does not consist in one thing, but in the unique assemblage of all things. Whatever human industry has created, you find there. Do you think that's a fact or an opinion? Fantastic. It's an opinion because she feels it was a wonderful place with vast, strange, and new impossible things to describe. Okay. She says it was unique. Yeah, so that is how she feels about it, and that's her opinion on the Great Exhibition. Now it's your turn. Your task today is to get a piece of paper and turn it landscape and draw a line down the middle. On one side of the line, write fact. On the other side, write opinion. So I'm just going to show you. I've only got a small piece of paper, okay? And I'm just going to show you what I would, actually, no, I've got one here, what I would like you to do. So you get a nice fresh piece of paper, okay? And then you just fold it in half. Once you have folded it in half, open it and draw a line in the middle. Once you have drawn a line in the middle, you need to draw a line horizontally. So you have two parts. One part is fact, the other part is opinion. Okay? Now, once you have done that, come back to my video. Now, using what we learned earlier about facts and opinions, sort these sentences by putting them underneath the correct heading, so on the correct side. Okay, you can just write the letter next to the statement instead of writing it all out. So, for example, it says here, A, Queen Victoria opened the exhibition on the 1st of May 1851. That is a fact. Now, because that, now that is a fact, and the reason that is a fact is because it's given a date, okay? So on your piece of paper, you are going to write A underneath fact, okay? Now, I look forward to seeing your work on tapestry, and I will see you in your next lesson. Goodbye, Pankhurst.